connected up today, December 10th, 2023, coming at you for our live stream to talk about the Walking Dead universe, other shows, movies, everything else under the sun you could think about. Happy holidays. I apologize for not wearing my Santa hat last Sunday. I realized that I should have because I like to wear it for the month of December, but I got it on today. I'll have it on next live stream as well. So hopefully you are safe and sound and doing well. A little under the weather this week. My wife and I were fighting some flu or bug or something, but we're ultimately okay. We're getting better every day, and so definitely something you got to take care of yourself. It's cold and flu season. So yeah, had a rough week because of that, but we made it through it. And I always like to think about it to get through each day. Got to get through each day, each week, each month, and then each year, of course. So hopefully you're doing well. Not much to talk about Walking Dead-wise. There's some little clips going around of Carol filming. We already know she's in Season 2. She was in Season 1 of the Daryl Dixon show, so it's nothing new about there. Still no word about the Brick and Michonne trailer. The Daryl stuff, I think there was like a little mini strike in France or something that shut that down for a couple of days. But other than that, there's just not much to talk about in the Walking Dead universe until, January, February. Well, until we get the trailer. So until we get the actual trailer for The Ones Who Live, not a teaser trailer and a teaser and another teaser and then a teaser of a teaser and then a teaser of a photo. It's like, let's just get the trailer already, It's been a long time coming. We haven't seen Rick Grimes in a long time. And yeah, we saw him at the end of season, 11 at the end of The Walking Dead, but it's not the same. I mean, that was just like filler to throw it in there a little bit. It felt more like a post-credit scene type of stuff. But Rick and Michonne are going to get together and be together in the series. And we don't know if it's going to be, multiple seasons or this and that. And, I watch a lot of stuff on, Line and YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and, all this stuff and basically all the different stuff. And there's been a lot of talk recently, not a lot of talk, but I guess decent amount of talk about the Walking Dead universe and what's going to happen with Morgan and what's going to happen with this and what's going to happen with that and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but I'm just kind of over it a little bit to the extent where I was really involved with the Walking Dead, obviously. Loved it. One of the best shows. And then it just ran its course, Is there other franchises that are out there that are like, what's happening with this franchise or what's happening with that franchise and what's happening with this? And I guess everyone had that, right? Before it was like, what's happening with Star Wars? You made the original 3 movies and they made the first 3 movies and they did this and they jumped around. They sold it to Disney. Now they're making a million shows and movies and spinoffs and this and that, making a million things there. The Marvel Cinematic Universe, of course, there as well, because that's just got its own separate thing and it's got its own, it can go off in tangents. Sopranos, people were always like, what's that happen with this? What's happened with that? Blah, 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 blah. And then they made a movie that kind of filled in some gaps, but really wasn't that good. The Breaking Bad franchise was continues to be the best universe for it. And yeah, it's not that encompassing. It's one show and then Better Call Saul, El Camino, and it's not really spinoff after spinoff after spinoff. It wasn't like the minor characters are getting a spinoff and there wasn't some other show that's connected with it, but it just worked. It was the right amount of seasons, the right amount of shows, the right amount of stuff, it's the right amount of things, right? And The Walking Dead is just continuing on with the franchise for story's sake, for money's sake, I don't know. I don't know what the point of this stuff is. We have to have an actual conclusion with Rick and Michonne, right? That has to be it. Now, Rick and Michonne are being reunited. We know that, obviously, in the show. But is anyone else going to show up? Because if it's just Rick and Michonne in the show, it's great, and I'm excited for it, and I love both the characters, and I love both the actors, but I need more. We need more. Don't give us the basic thing of it. Okay, CRM, Rick, Michonne, Major General B.O., Jadis. Okay, good, great. We're expecting those things. But I need more of it. We need more. We need Daryl. We need Morgan. We need other connections, other just final things. We need final reunions. And I don't know if we're going to get that because we don't know what's going to happen exactly here and there because, there's not that many spoilers going around for the show, which is good. But I have high hopes for it, And I had lower hopes for Dead City. It was a good show. I had real low hopes for the Daryl Show. Great show. Now, I don't know if I have high hopes or average or mediocre, whatever hopes for it, but I'm really hoping the Rick and Michonne show is great. And it's already going to be great because Rick and Michonne are back, but I don't know if I have too high hopes. And, we got to keep our expectations low, manage them, or keep them low so we don't get disappointed. And I don't think I'll be disappointed by the show because I have faith in Andrew Lincoln and Denai. But we'll have to see. So other than that, guys, what are you guys watching? We just finished the show Obliterated on Netflix. I think it's by the Cobra Kai people. And that show was crazy. Like, it was 8 episodes. It should have been 6. It was way too long. It was way too graphic, way too crazy with nudity and this and that. And, like, every episode had a little too much in there to shoot, too. But Princess did a good job. C. Thomas Howell did a good job. I mean, everybody did a good job in the show. And it's worth watching, and it's interesting, and it's a good time. But, yeah, it's something that I'm excited to see where it's going to go. For maybe another season or not. I don't know. But we watched that. We watched the Nailed It baking competition. That was kind of funny. What else we watched? We watched Hard Knocks with the Dolphins, which is always good. Love that. Watched the first episode of The Bookie with Sebastian Maniscalco on HBO or Max. And that's funny. It's already good. What else are we watching? Nothing really else too much. I mean, we watched some of the holiday episodes, like Friends and a couple things today. And again, we were taking it easy because we didn't feel good, so we were taking it easier this week. But other than that, what are you guys watching? What are you guys recommending out there, too? Jay Kane, which is your favorite Walking Dead show? The original. The main Walking Dead show is like the gold standard, and then everything else after there, too. Just not really... I don't know. Like, Fear the Walking Dead was trash. World Beyond was just not enough. Good stuff in the show. Tales of the Walking Dead, nothing really there either. But maybe The Walking Dead. It's like you put all your efforts in The Walking Dead, and the rest of the stuff was like filler. Yeah, John, I watched the GTA 6 trailer. Looks good. The other thing I noticed 2 days ago, I think, there is a DLC for God of War Ragnarok. Valhalla that's going to come out in 2 days on December 12th. So that's awesome. And I'm definitely going to download it because I want to play a little more God of War stuff. And it's probably just like fighting boss battles with Kratos and stuff. So we'll have to see because if you know how it ended with Kratos at the end of Ragnarok, it'll probably be Kratos by himself. So pretty cool. Yeah, I'm a Grand Theft Auto fan. I have to get a PS5. Maybe next year I'll get that. But I'm always a person that wants to wait on stuff now. I'm just not a person going to have to do that. Rob K says, also Monarch, Legacy of Monsters with Godzilla, Kong on Apple. Yeah, the Monarch show, I believe, is with the Russell family, Kurt Russell and Wyatt Russell. I watched the thing about them on Jimmy Kimmel. And they're playing the same character, like Wyatt's the younger version of Kurt's character, which is kind of cool. I'm not a big Godzilla fan, but I know if people are, then that's pretty cool because it's more Godzilla stuff, the better, for sure. Yeah, Rob, it's December 12th, God of War releasing the DLC. Now, Grand Theft Auto 6 is not out. The trailer is out. The trailer is the trailer is out. It's a short trailer. It's like a minute and whatever. It's pretty cool, for sure. Heart of Nixie asks, anyone here ever seen Night of the Hunter? I don't know what that is. But other than that, guys, we're enjoying our December. It was cold, and then it got hot again. It's going to get cooler, and it's going to get hot. So in the Florida fall is going to be hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold. Hopefully it cools down a little bit more, because I don't want to have to run the air conditioning. I don't want to have to run the heat or the air conditioning. I think that's the best temperatures for me. But my wife's always hot, so we always try to keep it cool for sure. But yeah, I mean, so other than that, we're not watching too much other stuff. Getting ready for the holidays, excited for that. Just got to get some last little things here. I sent some stuff in the mail to my family and mailed some stuff out, and then got to just get those last. I'm pretty good early shopping stuff. I did a lot of good stuff with Black Friday this year, and getting ready for earlier rather than later. I'm ready to get that stuff done and over with because it's definitely something that I want to finish earlier, because going out shopping. So I have a friend that I grew up with, and he would always go shopping on Christmas Eve, or at least he said he did. I never went shopping with him. I never did any of that stuff. But that's crazy to me to think that you would wait to the last minute and then go shopping. Like, I could see a couple of last minute things that you have to get here and there. But no, I would never go shopping on Christmas Eve for gifts for people that I'm going to see on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. Like, that's crazy. So, I mean, if you went shopping there, you didn't see people around the holiday and you get something. But that's just too risky. I couldn't do it myself. Are you guys a last minute shopper? Do you like to get stuff done early, or do you shop throughout the holiday season? So other than that, guys, we're taking it easy, trying to get healthier again. We're trying to do some Christmas stuff around the way here. Not too much, I don't know. My birthday's coming up in like 2 weeks, so we're trying to figure out. My wife wants to do something for my birthday. I don't really need to do anything that much. I like to relax that day personally. We might go. I don't know. There's a couple things up in the air. We'll see what happens with it. But I'm not. I'm not the biggest birthday celebration fan. I have a good time, and growing up, I'd have some friends over. We'd go to the movies, come back, have cake and pizza and whatever, have a sleepover, and that was kind of it. So thank you, Walking Dead Eternal. So appreciate that. Jonathan Wire says, Q&A, if you're running out of things if you're running out of things to watch, I could recommend some animes for you to watch. Now, I'm not going to get into the anime game. I'm just, that's just a whole other world that I'm just not into myself. Jay Kane says his is on the 18th. Mine's on the 21st. So it's 3 days after yours, Jay Kane. Very cool. So Jay Kane, you are a Sagittarius. I am a Sagittarius Capricorn mix on the cusp, which is a real thing. And share my birthday with Tom Payne, who played Jesus on The Walking Dead. Glenn Rhee, Stephen Yeun, who played Glenn on The Walking Dead. Ray Romano, Kiefer Sutherland, Jane Fonda, Samuel L. Jackson, a couple other famous people like that too, which is always pretty cool. It's always cool to see different celebrities. And I always kind of think about it, I'm like, wow, if those celebrities could be successful. Like Samuel L. Jackson has like one of the ultimate careers in acting. Him, Kevin Bacon, like Tom Hanks. Like, once you do enough things in movies, it's pretty cool. And shows, you just build up your resume, and it's like, wow, that's pretty awesome. And I'm like, wow, could I have been an actor? Could I have done something like that? I don't know. I'm sure I could have. But life takes you down different roles and paths too. So other than that, yeah, we're trying to stay healthy. It's one of those cold and flu seasons, so stay hydrated. Get up on your zinc and your vitamin C and everything else on there too. So, yeah, John, well, I'm like a Sagittarius Capricorn mix, so I guess I'm a little bit of both is what it is. But that's cool that you're a straight Capricorn, January 9th. Pretty cool. Yeah. Tim, how old are you turning, Brian? I'm going to be 40. I'll be in my 40s, so 41 on December. So I'm getting there. And it's cool. It's definitely something that I like getting older. I don't mind it because I'm still here. it makes me think of losing my friends and losing my family. And I've lost friends in high school and college and outside of college and years ago. And my friend lost his dad that we were close with a couple years ago, like right around COVID too. So it was kind of like one of those things where you lose people enough. And I'm happy to still be here. I say that now because I still have people in my life. It's got to be tough when you get older. I see a lot of people come into therapy and they like to talk. They like to be here and be involved and just have someone to talk to. Then I get it. When I did home health, was the same thing. I might be the only person that person sees that day. So taking the hour out of my day to have fun with them and have a good talk was always cool too. So, it's always fun to. I like talking to older people and stuff, and like talking with people about their lives and what they are. And you never know. People tell me a lot of crazy things about their lives and what they did and where they traveled. A lot of people were in the military. A lot of people were they're in the military now. We see a lot of people from military armed services, and so we get to see people all the different things. And it might be different when you hit your 50s and your 60s and your 70s and your 80s or whatever, but to be in your 40s, I think is a good time. 30s and 40s, I think is probably your best age. Because if we hit the halfway point, which is 80, if we hit the halfway point of life expectancy, which is around 80 for life people. So 78, 80 years old is life expectancy. So we'll just round to 80. Half of that is 40. So statistically, I'm at half my life right now. I'm over half my life, which I'm fine with. I don't need to be 100. I don't want to live to be 100 years old, actually. I want to live to be a functional, highly functional, mentally capable person to whatever age. I would love to be 70, late 70s, early 80s and die then, but it's all relative. We'll see. We can't live forever. Shows can't go on forever. Movies can't go on forever. People can't live forever. So we just have to make the best of it. We have to, do the best we can. And, I love when people are talking about how old they are and everything. And it's always cool to put things in perspective. And I like to learn from people that are older than me. Like, I wish I had mentors and people helping me earlier in life too, telling me that to invest in stocks and dividends and CDs and just saving my money and putting it towards things. I wish I did it sooner. And also having fun, like live and learn, and hindsight's always 20/20. So you get to have fun with it, You always want to have something there. So I was thinking about it too, just talking with patients and reflecting with stuff and just talking with people, that we get a chance to just value life, the small things too. Oh, that's cool. And Hard Nixie says you could write a book, PT stories of your patients, honors them too. For sure. Well, you just have to be careful with that, Hard Nixie, because you can't have any patient identifier stuff. But it's pretty cool. I've always thought to have like patients that I've met over the course of my life, being a therapist for, over 14 years now, that I remember their stories. I remember a lot of things. And that comes into my writing a little bit in my book series. And it's pretty cool to just take a little bit here and there, and to take those stories that you learn from someone else and adapt them and change them a little bit, but kind of, remember them too. And, Fear the Walking Dead wasn't the best show, but their one big line that kind of turned into crap was no one's gone until they're gone. Right? And yeah, it's an open thing, but basically they turned it into Madison's not really dead and she's not truly gone yet. But they killed her off, and it's whatever it is. But it's a good line because no one's gone until they're gone. Like, no one's gone until you stop remembering them or thinking of them or talking about them or writing about them or whatever it is, like bringing them up in conversation or stuff like, remember when, remember this, remember that. Like, theoretically, someone could still be alive, but you never see them again, or you never talk to them again, or you never do them again. So they're gone in your life, but they're still alive. They're still there. So it's the same kind of thing. So if you remember someone, like eventually people, your loved ones, you probably lost loved ones. You know, I lost my grandparents. I lost this, I lost that. But I talk about them not all the time, but yearly for sure. Like I always talk about to patients, like my grandfather on my dad's side, my dad's dad. He was a soft-spoken, hardworking guy. And he was just a good guy. You know, he was quiet and he worked hard his whole life and he was a craftsman and he was just a good person. And then my grandmother died when I was in 10th grade, when I was 10 years old. So I was in 5th grade. And for like, I don't even know, 10, maybe like almost 15 years, my grandfather, you know, lived alone, never remarried, never dated anybody else, and wore his wedding ring to the day he died. And, you know, it's sad, but also nice to see that, you know. And, you know, I remember, you know, I was talking to a patient about it. Like every year we would go to Christmas Eve, we'd go over my aunt's house, and Christmas Day we would go to a diner, one of the only places that were alive, that was open. And so every year when my grandfather was alive, he would come over to my aunt's house and he would come over and sit down on the sofa, and he was, you know, he had trouble breathing for a little bit, and then I was sitting there talking with him. I was like, "You're going to go to breakfast tomorrow?" He's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, if I can make it. It was right down the street from him. I mean, it was like a 5-minute ride. The diner was really close to his house. And he would always come, or we would come pick him up or whatever. Like, we would make sure he was there. And it was always an important thing. But every year I would always ask him, and he'd be like, I don't know. And he always went, and it was always a funny thing. And it's just a small little thing that I remember. And I'm just glad that we had those little moments for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And going to a diner on Christmas Day, it's nothing great, it's nothing huge, but I just remember the diner being busy and seeing my aunt and uncle and my cousin and everything. And it was just nice. It was a nice thing too. Michael Singer, are you a spiritual person? Believe in heaven? I'm a spiritual person. I believe, you know, I don't know what to believe about, you know, religion and heaven and hell and all this stuff. And, you know, I'm not going to say there isn't afterlife and there's not this and not there, but I don't know if it's like this world, the great thing. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to believe, but I'm not negating it for sure. And I do think that we need to be good for good things to happen to us in our life, but the afterlife and everything too. Like, it just makes sense to be a good person and good things will happen to you. And bad things will happen to you if you keep being a bad person. And stuff adds up over time. Like, I do believe in karma and universal truths and just universal things that are happening all around us all the time. And it's hard for me to believe in something that I haven't really experienced myself. I guess I'm considered like a man of science, that I believe in actual things like cause and effect. And some things, I don't know how to explain them. Like, I've always had the explanation of like, why do good things happen to bad people and why do bad things happen to good people? I don't know that answer, but what helps me believe it is karma, or what happened earlier in someone's life or even past lives. You know, I believe we carry stuff over with us, and the goal is that too, reading different books and everything about that, but that's a whole different conversation. So, but I believe at the end of the day is we should help people and be good to everybody as much as we can. And people will take advantage of it and they will hurt others, and that's never going to stop. So don't be a doormat, and don't be naive to think that people aren't going to try to get one over on you. You know, like, there's people that are out there that are saying how bad they are and how suffering they are, but they're lying to you. Like, how do we know it's true? Maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but they could be lying to you, and then you give money to them or you help them out and blah, blah, blah. And then they just getting a free handout. And they're not really actually using the money for what they're supposed to be doing, and not supposed to be doing that stuff. And I'm sure that happens. But, you know, it's one of those things where you just try to be the best you can. And, you know, I talk to my patients all the time, and a lot of similar content comes up and similar, you know, ideas. And, you know, there's a lot of people here, you know, in their 30s, 40s, 50s, some older, some younger. And I've always tried to be the person that holds the door for others, thanks others, acknowledges other people, because I would want that to be acknowledged to me. Like when you let someone in traffic, you give them the wave, like thanks, or you let someone go and they give you the wave, thank you. They appreciate it. They realize you didn't have to do that, but you did. Same thing with holding a door. And enough people aren't being taught that, and parents are not parenting, and kids are stubborn, just obnoxious, annoying. But that's never going to go away. Like teenagers are always annoying, obnoxious idiots all the time. Like no matter if it's this generation or your generation or my generation or people, born in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 80s, it's the same time. It's the same thing. It's a part of life. But if people don't set the precedent, if we don't set the precedent as the people that care about it, So, John, are you saying, have you ever had a Karen patient before? Like Karen, like a bad patient, like an annoying patient? Because yes, I've had plenty of those for sure. So, I've always thought about it too. Like if I was doing stand-up comedy, and I have some stuff, about, material, but I see like teenagers and retired people are the same. They're the same, right? They don't know what's going on, but they think they know. They think they know everything. They sleep in, they're lazy, they're, stubborn, they're always worried about food, they're always worried about being there, and there's just like, the similarities are just so there. And I was thinking about it too, you see, like, I see a lot of elderly people, and I wonder, do they change when they're retired, or do they be the same person they are, they're just retired now, right? And I think you are the same people, unless stuff happens to you and whatever. But if you're a grumpy, pain in the butt, annoying, negative person, when you're a teenager in your 20s and your 30s, you're probably be the same way when you're retired. Most likely, because your personality is who you are, your things who you are, your traits are who you are, your nature is who you are. And then, stuff changes you. And hopefully, throughout your life, you mellow out, like as I know I have. Or at least I think I have, when I was younger, I was not anxious and apprehensive. I was just like worrying about small little details and trying to go all the time. And trying to do this and trying to do that and trying to do things. And you worry about things that you're out of your hands. Like you can't control them. But you want to do a good job, It's pretty cool. It's a joke, Jane. Relax. It's a joke. It's stand-up comedy. Did you overhear my routine? I had a thing. It's a joke. Yes, there's a lot of people that are great. They have plenty of matters. Yes, and there's a lot of teenagers that are out there too. Yeah, great. All right. Hilarious. It's a comedy stand-up thing. This is why people can't understand why comedians like whatever. But, sure. But, yeah, I mean, stuff like that's getting in the way of life. And, I'm probably going to just be going into next year with The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, and see how it is. All right. Wow, Jane. You don't show up forever, and now you're complaining about some material there, too. It's a matter of perspective for a bad joke, but that's funny. So, yeah, a lot of people have manners. A lot of people have that, too. But it's just a joke. That's the way it is on there, too. But people can get all mad about it, too. But, Yeah, it's just one of those things where I just got to keep going on with your life and doing the best you can. And it's crazy to think I've been doing this for so many years, that I just going to probably be done at some point, just because it's going to run its course. YouTube did its thing. And I still love you guys. The community is still there. But The Walking Dead, is getting on life support. It's just how it is. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like I'm not making fun of retirees and I'm not making fun of teenagers. I just see them as being the same. It's just kind of what it is. Life becomes full circle, And it kind of does. When you're little, you're like taken care of by your family and taking care of this. You don't know what's going on. You're in there. And then when you're retired, same type of thing. You don't know what's going on. You're being taken by your family. It's like full circle moments. Probably in diapers again too, And it's a joke. These are jokes. Yes, there's a lot of high function. I've seen people in their 80s and their 90s that are better off than people in their 40s and 50s and 60s that I've seen too. So yeah, it's all relative. But wow. And I don't know when everyone got like so sensitive. Maybe everyone has been super sensitive. Or, yeah, it's probably just everyone's been super sensitive, but now they have platforms to cry and complain about it. Like before, people would cry and complain and be all that too about it, but they didn't have the platforms to talk about it. No one had a website or social media. Like right now, any Joe Schmo, some teenager person, kid, can have Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, X, YouTube, like at least 5 different things, right? At least 5 different things. And they can have their own things to talk about it and cry and complain and whatever, which is very empowering. Before, we never had that, and ultimately the crazy thing about it is we're doing it for reasons that can help people, but also not. We're also doing it trying to get rich and famous and trying all that stuff, which I get it. It's a great medium for that. But you also can invoke change, But you can't really, people are so, I don't know, marketable and biased, It's that people can just be manipulated. That's what it is. I was looking for the word. And I'm hoping that like social media influencers can manipulate people into being nice and thoughtful in there too. Like, how about if we had a challenge? Like if someone came out with a TikTok challenge or some other stupid thing that people have to come out with, and they're like, hey, how about you record yourself opening the door for everybody and letting people walk in? And it's not a prank, and it's not a thing, it's anything bad. You just hold the door for somebody, or you help somebody, or you're nice to somebody, or you say thank you. You appreciate that too. But that's a challenge now, to be a good human being now, That's just crazy, John, Q&A, did you catch Tribute to the Troops Friday? It's a yearly Christmas special from WE, and also CM Punk took... No, I didn't see that. I didn't see anything about that. I heard, all right, I didn't see it either, but I saw a thing about what's her name? Charlotte Flair. She got hurt on at SmackDown on Friday, and I like Charlotte Flair. I think Charlotte Flair is one of the best women wrestlers I've ever seen, and I hope she's okay. It's a sad thing when wrestlers get hurt. Well, anyone gets hurt, like athletes of anything get injured, but especially WWE superstars, because their career is pretty short, and it's pretty dangerous what they do, especially when people are flipping off the ropes and people are at the mercy of someone else, and if someone slips or the technique is wrong, it's dangerous. Yeah, thank you, Jeannie. She says, Bri, you can feel free to pick on any groups I belong to. I know exactly. I'm just joking and playing on there too. I got love for everybody. I got love for on that too. I just was seeing similarities in that too. It's not anything like that, People get so mad about it. Get mad about life. It's just like, my goodness, man. If someone's going to be super mad about things like that, it's like you got to relax a little bit. You got to relax. And it's like, I might start going Bill Burr in here. Come on, people, relax. It's a joke. Come on. Not anything so serious. But for some people it is. Life is serious, okay? But it's a matter of perspective. Perception is reality. If someone feels like they're being attacked or like this, that's not the meaning of it. That's not the demeanor of anything that I'm doing here in this live stream or in other videos or anything like that too. And hopefully people would realize that by now, especially someone that's been around here for years. But this is what happens too. Like, I've been doing this now for, I don't know, coming up on 9 years, 10 years. I don't even know. It's been a long time. And you start to see people, you start to do this, and you get to meet a lot of people, and people follow you, and people like this, and people like that. And then all of a sudden they're like, what happened to this channel? What happened to this? What happened to that? I can't believe this. I can't believe that. Oh my God. Dude, what happened, bro? Why are you acting like this? And I'm like, what? I've been the same person, I feel like, since the very beginning. I don't think I've changed much. Maybe I have. I don't know. But I feel like I've been who I've been the same way throughout there. It's just some people see me in a different light. I don't know. And that's all you can be, is just be yourself. Especially if you hopefully are being a good person. Continue to be yourself. Help others, help your family, help yourself. Because life can be starting to weigh you down a little bit, or a lot. You know, we call this time Stressmas because there's a lot added onto our plate. Excuse me. We got, regular everyday life. Then you got the holidays. If you have to travel, you got to buy presents. Got to deal with all the people. Because I live in a touristy spot, right? So we got a lot of people driving around. A lot of people this, a lot of people that. It's crazy. It's too much. And so we got to deal with all the people not knowing what they're doing. Then they got to go shopping. They got to do here and they got to do that. And I'm just hoping they're going to like the beaches and the touristy things, because we don't really do that stuff because we live here. When you're a resident somewhere, you don't really go to the spots. But, because I live 2 miles away from the beach, and I haven't really gone there enough. And I should. Definitely should. Excuse me. So it's definitely crazy for that. So hopefully you're safe and sound. Yeah, Mike, Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, they have a big game tonight. So the Cowboys play the Eagles tonight, and it's a big game. And of course, it's a big game because they play the Eagles, and I hope the Cowboys win. But the Cowboys have a much harder schedule than the Eagles do the remaining games. So even if the Cowboys win, they'll be tied, and then the tiebreaker should go, whatever, because they split the games. But the Eagles have, I think, the Giants twice. I think the Eagles play like the Seahawks, the Giants twice, and the Cardinals. They should win all 4 of those games. The Cowboys, I know, have the Dolphins, the Bills, probably the Commanders, and then I don't know. Like, it's a tough game. So, or a tough remaining schedule. They can win some of those games for sure, and it would be a good test. But you needed the Eagles to lose to the Bills, the Chiefs, the games that they basically should have lost, but they won, and so that's what happens there as well. So ultimately, you get to have, a lot of good stuff with the entertainment. I just take it as entertainment. The Cowboys will probably make the wild card. They probably won't win the division, which I'm fine with. The Cowboys are a playoff team for sure, but so are the Eagles, so are the 49ers, which are tough. I mean, I don't know how they're going to, like, if the Cowboys played the Eagles last year instead of the 49ers, the Cowboys maybe go to the Super Bowl. But they didn't. They lost to the 49ers yet again, and they would probably lose to the 49ers again in the playoffs if they play them again. So we'll have to see. That's a month away. So I'll have to see how it goes. But it's entertainment. It's fun. It's just how we do it, just like watching a show, just watching different things, watching different stuff on there as well. I'm watching. We just started Coach Prime season 2, which is to see the Deion Sanders stuff at Colorado, and the latest episode was Colorado playing TCU, the first game, which was like a huge game. Started the hype train, like it was crazy, and then only winning 4 games this season was not really good too. So. Jonathan Water asks, Q&A, what was your first wrestling memory as a kid growing up? Mine, surprisingly, John Cena rapping and then beating up his opponents. I don't know what my exact first memory was, but I remember watching wrestling on Saturday mornings, And I remember going to wrestling matches in Philadelphia at the Spectrum, which is no longer there anymore. But watching stuff live and seeing, Ultimate Warrior and Big Boss Man and all that good stuff. Like it was cool stuff too. So that's probably I don't know, probably one of my first wrestling things was probably watching it on Saturday mornings. But I don't remember a certain match or certain anything like that. That's kind of my first thing. Saturday, like nowadays you can watch this stuff anytime you want. But Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays were the best times for watching television in my life. Because you had TGIF on Fridays. Saturday morning was Saturday morning cartoons, wrestling, and then Sunday was sports, football, and watching The Simpsons, the Fox lineup of that, In Living Color, just all those shows. Sunday nights, and then Monday night was Monday Night Football. You'd watch. And then during the week, I'd have to do my homework, or I had soccer practice, or because we played the game on Sundays for soccer. And so that would be like, usually at 1 o'clock was our soccer games. So come back from the game, do that, whatever, get ready for the upcoming week. But it was always like that for me. And so that was big days, especially TGIF and Saturday morning. And then later on when you had more shows and everything, we didn't have a cable box ever, and we didn't have HBO except when you have the free HBO weekend, And nowadays, I didn't even watch Walking Dead on television when it first aired because I didn't have cable. We didn't have when I moved to South Florida to go to grad school. I tried to not have cable, but I had it in the apartment because it was connected with the lease for the apartment for the year. And then we bought our condo, and I didn't have cable. I had an antenna television, and it could pick up, I think, Fox, ABC, and NBC, and then maybe CBS at times. Because I remember I would watch Survivor, The Office, Sunday Night Football, and I could watch things like that. And then, Jonathan, HBO stands for Home Box Office, is what HBO stands for. So if you ask my dad, he will call it Home Box, because it's Home Box Office, but it's HBO. And then when I had to move from here to Clearwater, I couldn't use the antenna because it wouldn't connect up any shows, so I had to get a cable box to have television. And then I moved that cable box here when I bought my house. And that's when we started watching Walking Dead on television. I watched the episodes online somewhere, the first 2 seasons, and then we finished it, and the 3rd season was just about to come on television. And then we started watching it, the 3rd season, on television on HBO, on AMC. Excuse me. So that's how we did the Walking Dead. But now, The Walking Dead's an older show now. I mean, the show's 13 years old. So you can watch the whole stuff on Netflix. You can watch everything there too. And you can do everything. You don't even have to have a lot of stuff anymore. You have to have streaming services. Like if you have Hulu, you can watch the stuff on regular television the next day. If you have Amazon Prime, you're watching the Prime shows. If you have Netflix, you're watching whenever you want when it's on there. And yeah, it's cool. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you definitely enjoy what you can enjoy now. I mean, I don't know, end of the year specials you got to be checking out. They have sometimes you can get streaming services for like a year for cheap, or like a couple months for cheap. So that's awesome, especially if you have a Fire Stick or a Roku or something like that, where you can just download the apps and just watch the stuff there. Because if you're watching the different stuff on the different streaming services, you're still catching up on a lot of stuff. Or like watch something, like get Netflix for the month, watch everything, and then cancel it or something. because it's tough. It's expensive to own all that stuff. But yeah, I don't know what's like the next big show going to be. To me, The Walking Dead came out of nowhere. I remember I didn't have television, so I couldn't watch it because you didn't have AMC Plus, and you didn't have stream, and it wasn't on Netflix, and you didn't have any of that stuff. When The Walking Dead came out, it was AMC. It was on television. There was only one way to watch it. And I remember I was at my girlfriend at the time, now wife's parents' house for Sunday dinner. And her dad was sitting there talking at the dinner table. And he's like, there's this show. And I knew this show was going to be good. This guy comes down here as he explained it to me. He turns. This little girl turns. She's a zombie. He takes his gun out. Boom. Shoots the zombie. The zombie falls back. He's like, this is going to be good. And that's the opening of The Walking Dead. And it's kind of cool to think about it like that. Because to think about it, the opening of The Walking Dead is Rick driving up in his police cruiser, going to get gas. He sees this little girl. She picks up a teddy bear and her bunny slippers. She turns towards Rick. Rick realizes she's a walker. She starts moving pretty fast at him. He takes out his revolver and shoots him. Boom. That's the beginning. That's the opening. Then, after the credits and all that stuff, it starts with Rick and Shane in the police cruiser. And it's like, whoa, what a second. What? What happened here? It doesn't say, before the zombie apocalypse. It doesn't say anything. It just has them talking. And then they do this, and you're watching the police chase and all that stuff. And then Rick gets shot, and then he goes to the hospital, and then stuff happens, and then Rick wakes up. So it's kind of a little like backward storytelling. It's like jumps ahead to go back, to go here. And it's pretty cool. The initial opening, though, it draws you in right away. Like, it's definitely something that you have to have an opening like that. You have to have an opening that draws you in right away for it. And I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy. And I would assume a lot of shows and a lot of things, you have to have that opening to get everyone's attention. Everyone's fighting for your attention, whether it's ads or shows or movies or series or streaming or whatever. Like look over here. You want to watch this. Do you like this show? You got to get this. If you want this, you have to have that. It's only on this. Like, if you're going to watch the Star Wars stuff, you have to have Disney. If you're going to watch Reacher, you got to have Amazon. If you're going to have this, if you're going to have Thursday Night Football, you got to have Amazon. Everyone's trying to make you buy these streaming services now. Like, that's the huge money. That's where everything's at. And that's never going to go away. Like, what's really going to hurt is movie theaters. Like, I don't know. Like, I haven't been to a movie theater since before COVID. And I don't know if I'm ever going to be going back to a movie theater. Like, what's the point to go to the movies? The shows, the screen, the popcorn, the seats, this and that, the sound, all that stuff, right? But movies are expensive. Things are expensive. I don't think I'll just wait for it to come on one of the bunch of different streaming services I have. Excuse me, that I already paid for. So why would I don't know. Why would we go pay for something else too? Especially if a movie is not that captivating. Like, it's crazy to think that Barbie was the biggest movie this year. And that's cool. All props to it. But it's kind of crazy. Like, when all that was going on, the Marvel movies and all that stuff before COVID, those were like huge movies. Avatar, those huge grossing movies. Phantom Deluxe Q&A, do you think after Secret Wars we will get a reboot of MCU, or there's going to be another saga making Galactus the main antagonist? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm excited to see what they're going to do with the Deadpool movie. I think Deadpool 3 is probably going to be the best Marvel movie in a long, long time. They have to play with something with the multiverse of stuff with the X-Men and everything that's going to happen there, because there's been some spoilers that have come out, and we'll have to see what happens there. But I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going to happen with the MCU after stuff, because I don't know if they're going to do a reboot or what, because you can't bring back Iron Man, and the actors are the actors. You have to just bring in new actors to be a new role that's captivating again. That's what I think you have to do. Jonathan Wilder Q&A. If Morgan didn't tell Rick that it was a walker, what do you think Rick would have called it? I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, Morgan's clearly the one that called them walkers, and it's called The Walking Dead. So I don't know. I mean, they decided we can't call them zombies because zombies don't exist here. Like, I don't know why that doesn't make sense. But I mean, I don't know why that doesn't make sense to me. But it's just something that is what it is. I don't know. So it's cool. I mean, I like it. I like the idea, you know. But then when they started to call them everything else, rotters and deadheads and empties and whatever, like a million different names too. So, now, Mike, I don't really watch The Walking Dead anymore. I used to watch it all the time. Like, I used to watch it on Netflix. I used to watch it over here. I used to watch old episodes. I used to watch, it was on like other networks, and you'd catch it. Like the first couple seasons were on there. And yeah, I haven't watched The Walking Dead, in a long time, because it was really cool when you would watch something and you missed it for the first time. And then you watch something and you'd catch it, and maybe it would foreshadow something. And a lot of times it would. Hence the Red Theory, what that basically goes on too. And then the show kind of went off the rails. Negan came around. Stuff didn't really make the most sense. They killed off characters. People left the show. And the big thing was just like stuff was gone. So the time just went away with it. The effort just went away from it. And there's episodes that I would watch. There's, episode 501 and 609 and, 602 and 6, there's episodes that I would watch again for sure. But right now, there's enough other stuff going on. Like, I wish I had more time to proofread my my book, because I just got sick, and it was just one of those things where I didn't have the energy to read it for a couple of days. So I'm behind that. So that's more of the time I'd rather just read the book and finish my book series too. So, John, I did not. Yeah, I heard something about the Blade, but yeah, I mean, we'll see what games are coming out next year and after that, especially, with the future of stuff. I know there's supposed to be a Wolverine game and an Iron Man game and all this stuff, but what's really real with it? I don't know until a night comes out too. So, Phantom Deluxe, good night. Good night. If you're going to bed, good night. But other than that, guys, hopefully you're safe and sound. You're doing well in this crazy holiday season. And, yeah, I mean, do the best you can. Life is crazy. Life is expensive. Rent, mortgages. Hopefully gas is coming down. It came down here recently, so it's hopefully getting lower and lower. My wife and I went to Publix, which is a grocery store near here if you don't know what Publix is. But we shopped, and we got I don't even know, 5 bags of food, not even full bags. And it was we got no food and still paid over $80. And when we spend, 130, 110, 120, whatever, it feels like we get more, but you're spending, 30, 40 more bucks for all that stuff. And it felt like we got no food, but still paid around the $80. It was crazy. So it's expensive out there. If you can save your money, invest your money, but also pay your bills. You got to pay your stuff off. And the extra money, I would invest it. I would definitely put it in investing with dividend stocks or CDs and stuff, deposits that are going to be that way, because, life is tough out there too. To battle inflation, you got to have your money working for you, and you do the best you can, and hopefully you can take care of you and yourself and your loved ones. But yeah, what is extra money? What is extra money? In theory, it's money that you have left over after you pay your bills and your credit card and all your stuff that you have to take care of. It should be anything that's left over, in theory. But for a lot of people, that's not a lot of money, if anything at all, too. So ultimately, guys, do the best you can. I truly appreciate all the love and support from you guys. I definitely think that it's a great thing to have a community like you guys that have been here day in and day out. I'll be back next Sunday for our live stream, but I don't know if I'll be doing any more the rest of the year. I may wait till the following, Sunday, but I'll let you guys know. I'll be back next Sunday for sure. But I may wait until January 7th to come back for a live stream because it'll be nice to just relax a little bit and do something and do stuff around the house and enjoy the holidays, especially with Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve and everything. So, but I'll be back next week, so I'll wish you guys a happy holiday and everything like that. And, all I can say is that, previously in the stream, someone got mad at a joke that I didn't mean to offend anybody or do anything like that. But people are going to get mad at everything. I don't know if people still get mad about people saying Merry Christmas. But it's not done in a way to, like, piss people off. Like, I don't think someone's like, yeah, you know what? Merry Christmas. Like, it's an insult. Like, it's just like, so now you have to say Happy Holidays, which is fine. But some people, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate, which is good. It's a fun thing to celebrate and to have there too, And people are going to get mad about every little thing. Big details, small details. And it's just crazy. Like, even earlier in the stream, I'll say something and it's just a joke or it's like that too, but people get offended. And people will not say anything for months. For months in the comments on Instagram or anything. For months. And then you say something that offends them. They're ready to type away. And you're like, man, didn't even know you were still here. You're like, wow. It's just crazy. That's when I get to see that people get that's when people will let you know when they're pissed off. If they're happy or excited or fine with everything, they don't care. They got nothing to say. But when they're pissed and they're mad, I'm going to let you know. I am angry. Send. Okay, great. It's hilarious. And you just see that enough and more 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 with people. And it's like, wow. Cool. I didn't know the one thing that really pissed you off, but the 9,000 other things that you're okay with. You never let me know anything good about it. It's like the manager that always tells you how bad of an employee you are. You don't hear from them ever. They don't say anything. They don't give you praise. They don't give you good things. They don't say how good you are. They don't like what you're doing. They don't give you anything good. They don't appreciate you. But they let you know when you messed up, when you got to stay late, when you got to do this. And there's people on my job currently that they don't really talk much until there's a problem. I don't really hear much from them until there's a problem or they need something from you. You don't hear from them ever until they need something from you. Which is like, cool. I don't know. And I get it. That's the way of the world. People are all in their little egocentric bubble. And so I get it. It's how people are. I'm not hating on it. It's just annoying where, I don't really talk to people much. We don't really talk much. But I don't want to be the only time I talk to someone is when I have to get something from them or be negative towards them around there too, And I get it. A lot of stuff happens and people are in control of a lot of employees and a lot of stuff. But it's just kind of annoying and kind of frustrating that it's like that. And it is what it is. When you've been working enough, when you've been dealing with enough people and enough personalities, you get to see what people are like personalities-wise. And it is what it is. So I appreciate the people that appreciate me, and I love people that love me, and the people that do stuff for me and help me out. I truly appreciate that, and I want them to know that I do appreciate them. And I got to do a better job at it, just like everybody else. I'm not better than anybody else with that stuff. I suck at it from time to time, but whatever your love language is, whether it's writing, typing, talking, gift giving, whatever. Which was kind of a thing that was a newer thing. Like, I know it's been out now for years, plenty of years. But it's kind of cool if you think about it. Not everyone is going to give you, like my dad, per se. He's not going to be the whole lovey-dovey, say this and give praise and stuff like that. But he does from time to time. And he's going to be a different way of appreciating or showing his love on there as well. And I don't even know what his way of his love language is. And then some people will write you a 40-page text message that's telling you how they love you and care about you and all that other stuff too. And the other people won't say anything. They will, I don't know. I don't know what all the love languages are. But it's kind of a newer thing that makes you think about it. Like, oh, not everyone expresses it the same way. Which is kind of cool. And, it's tough. It's tough to do that way. But all right, guys, that's my hour. I'm sorry for the tangents and the rants. And sorry if I offended you with a joke. But it was just a joke. I have nothing but respect for people. And other than that, guys, I'll be back next Sunday. So yeah, like I said, next Sunday, I'll be here for the 17th for our live stream. And then we'll see where it is for the next couple weeks. But I may just call it a year for that, for the live streams. And other than that, guys, enjoy your time. Enjoy your, some people last week or the year for working, whatever you do. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. Keep working hard. I'll be back next Sunday, and see you guys. See ya.